All right, all right. Let me get this going. My bad. So, yo, what's up, everybody? This is your guy Aslan Williams. And I got something special today. First of all, this is our first live stream, and so if we mess up, just bear with us or whatever. But man, so my first special guest today is my best friend, Talan Whitaker. Oh man, like I knew this dude since 8th grade when he moved to Denver.
Yeah, we go back.
Yeah, from Omaha, Nebraska, and so wouldn't have had it any other way than to have him on the show. But how you doing today, Taylor?
I'm doing great, man. First, I want to say thank you, man. Thank you for having me on, man. I love, what you got going on, the agenda you're trying to push. Anything I can do to support, I'm here for you, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. So, for those of y'all who don't know, me and Taylor, like we played together for many years, but we also played against each other in high school.
Fierce competitors.
Serious competitors. We've never dunked on one another. Taylor.
That is a lie. I caught him a couple times.
No, Taylor's never dunked on me. But I tried to dunk on him junior year. It didn't work because I took off from like
the free throw line.
I took off from very far out. I got the foul though, so I'll take the foul, and I still got 2 points off of it. So,
and if anyone from Denver, Colorado, and you played high school basketball, you know how the Thunderdome goes. At Manual High School is a staple, very historic court. This man really tried to go out of his way in front of all of our friends, all of our people. Trust me, I'm not having that.
Look, hey, I tried it. That's all I can say. I tried it, but
that he did.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is my best friend. But today, we have a couple of different topics that we're going to talk about, and so we're super excited to get on here. But if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel under Spell Basketball Show. And then if you have not subscribed, but if you have not followed on Instagram, go to Instagram and follow at Spell Basketball Show on Instagram, and then just keep a lookout for the updates. I'm gonna have some major people on here, and it's gonna be a good show. Just getting started, and so I'm looking forward to it. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. And the first topic we're gonna talk about today is the expectations for Victor Wembanyama. Okay. And so, Taylor, I just wanted to hear your part of it. Like, what do you think are the expectations for Victor Wembanyama coming into his first year in the NBA?
Well, obviously, if you look at the man's build, he's a unicorn already, especially with his skill set. What is he, 7'4", 7'5"?
Yeah, 7'4", 7'5".
Yeah, the guy he can dribble. He can facilitate, get his teammates involved. A great defender. He can defend the basket better than almost any player in the league as of right now. But when it comes to expectations, everyone is expecting him to be an all-star right out of the gate, right away. I think that's just unrealistic. How much does the guy weigh? What,
230?
230?
Yeah,
that's like any player in the NBA that's over 7 foot. If you're less than 700, or if you're less than 250 pounds, then man, you're gonna struggle, man, because the guy he's 18 years old, right? 19.
Yeah,
he's gonna be playing against men. Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid. That's gonna be tough. So for him to carry his team to the promised land. I think, like, even getting a playoff spot, especially in the West, is going to be tough for the San Antonio Spurs. So manage your expectations when it comes to Wembanyama.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that in certain aspects. I think that I think for sure he definitely does have to put on some weight for sure. But I also think that the skill set that he has with the length that he has is it's amazing. I'm just like
it's gonna transition great to the league.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he goes up against it. I do think he may have spoken too soon, talking about that the overseas game is a lot more physical.
I've heard in the NBA area.
Yeah, I think he spoke a little bit too soon because I feel like, as what did Snoop Dogg say one time when Lonzo Ball got into the league and his dad was like, "Oh, my son's gonna be the best to ever do it," just kind of wolfing a lot. And Snoop Dogg said it's just like you put yourself in the lion's den with pork chop drawers on.
Oh yeah. The guy already has a target on his back already.
Exactly.
Obviously, with any of those high draft picks, those once in a lifetime, once in a generation talents, people in the league, they're trying to prove a point. They're trying to prove to everybody else that this guy isn't what everyone make him up to be. But with that being said, I think he's in the perfect system for that. Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs, I know their training staff, man, when it comes to player development, and that's one of the better places to be in the league, if not the best,
Absolutely.
And you can, go back to the 90s, you can go back, as far as possible, as far as the franchise been there, and do a great job of building up their players. So, I would still even look at, as the San Antonio Spurs, not even as a big market, a medium-sized market as far as the league goes. So, I think he'll be great, as far as exposure and, being like in the spotlight. I think, he's in the perfect place for that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see what he does. I'm just always about, if you're gonna open your mouth about something, no matter what it is, it could be politics, it could be sports, it could be relationship, whatever. Just be a man of your word and back it up. And so, I think he'll do fine. I think it might take him a year. This whole year is just it's every year everybody's breaking in year. As a rookie, that's just what it is. That's what a rookie is. But I think he will definitely, once he gets the flow of the game and the speed of the game, and gets acclimated to the physicality of the game, I think he's gonna be fine. Of course, like I said, once he gets acclimated to that physicality, he's definitely going to be a problem because he can score from the outside. So
exactly. And that's my whole thing with Wembanyama, man. I feel like we should be more focused on is on the defensive end of the ball, because obviously with time, he's going to figure out his footing, he's going to figure out his moves and everything, if he's a great defensive anchor for the San Antonio Spurs this upcoming year, I think that's all you can really ask out of that man, because look at the length, man. And the guy has time, when it comes to blocking the ball, he gets his little deflections, he has long arms, his length is going to be there. So I feel like if he's a great defender, I'd say I even look for that man to be third team, second team all defense this year, man, especially with the team that they have surrounded around. It's going to be focused around him. So,
right.
Yeah, expectations are pretty high.
Yeah, I agree. And, again, as my grandma always says, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, but what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take a quick little 1 minute break, and then when we get back, what we're gonna be talking about is, will Chris Paul fit in well with the Golden State Warriors, and what does that look like moving forward with Steph, Clay, Draymond, and all that? So when we come back from this commercial, we will definitely get into that. And so stay with us, bear with us, and we'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, we are back. So now we're talking about Chris Paul. So earlier this year, Chris Paul was traded to the Golden State Warriors for Jordan Poole. So with Steph being there, it's kind of like one of those situations where you're like, what was that move really about? But in my opinion, I do have a couple of things that I think will actually, this will work for the Warriors if they do it. And so, as always, Taylor, I want you to go first. What do you think Chris Paul's role will be with the Warriors, and how do you think he'll fit?
Wow. Before I get on that, you got to look at what the Warriors lost with that trade. They got rid of a young piece in Jordan Poole. Man, where is their future going to go? So I feel like that was a win now move. Losing Jordan Poole, I know it was the whole beef between Draymond and Jordan Poole, but man, I don't know. I think that was an iffy move. Yeah, I think that was a very iffy move, but that's my own, personal, opinion on that. But anyways, as far as Chris Paul, I think it's going to be a decent fit. If anything, I think I'm looking at it as they're probably going to just see add value on the Chris Paul come trade deadline. I doubt we'll see Chris Paul in the Warriors unit, but personally, we all know that Steph Curry can play off the ball, but that is Steph Curry's team. So if Steph Curry's not starting at that one, I don't know what the Warriors are doing. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I feel like Chris Paul should probably be in that second unit, running with the younger players, the Jonathan Kumingas, the Marcus Moody's, just to get that second unit going. Because one thing about him, he's one of the best facilitators in the league. Mm-hmm. Put him out there with any four players, they're probably going to look like, a couple all-stars out there. He's going to get you some easy buckets and make you look good. So, what do you think, Adam? What's your views on that?
So I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that the only way this is going to work is if Chris Paul comes in with that second unit. And so, you have Jonathan Kuminga and Marcus Moody. You have those players, and what Golden State has been missing in the last year was somebody to orchestrate it. So you thought Jordan Poole was that guy, but Jordan Poole had to get his buckets. So Jordan Poole was the main scorer coming off that bench once everybody came back and was healthy. And so yes, like you said and alluded to the fact that yes, Steph can't play off the ball, but you need somebody who can orchestrate that second unit for sure, but still put up a good amount of points and take over when needs to. And so we've seen in the past years that Chris Paul is one of the greatest finishers of the game. So he'll sit back for a minute, let the game come to him, and then that fourth quarter takes off, makes the smart shots, gets to that mid-range, and he puts himself in the best position, but also puts his teammates in the best position as well. So with the young athletic group that you have in that second unit, I believe Chris Paul will definitely be what that second unit needs. Now, if you do need Steph or Clay to come off, or Wiggins to come off the ball, then yes, I do believe you can add Chris Paul into that starting lineup in crunch time when you need somebody to facilitate and you need Steph to come off the ball as opposed to having the ball in his hands. But on the flip side of that, we know that Steph gets off more and is a more productive player when he has the ball in his hands. So for me, I think that in order for this to work, that Chris Paul will have to come off the bench. They can try and run because who really started that small ball game? Golden State, and so, but at some point you get too small, and so you don't want to get too small.
So you're definitely a little bit of size, a little bit of length. Sure.
Yeah, because we still have big point guards. Luka Doncic plays point guard every once in a while. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray. So you have elite point guards that are really oversized that just a Chris Paul and a Steph can't match up with, defensively. So I believe it could work.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing is, what about the past beef? What about, obviously we all know that Draymond is not a fan of Chris Paul. How is the chemistry going to be in the locker room? Will that reflect, on the court? Obviously like with the Kevin Durant situation a couple of years back. Mm-hmm. Man, that was the best player in the league.
Yeah,
Man, how did they run that man out of there? How did Kevin Durant feel as if he wasn't a part of the whole program? Is it going to
right.
be the same thing with Chris Paul?
Hmm.
Those are all questions you got to find out. And I saw so many battles between Chris Paul and Stephen Curry.
Yeah,
Man, like, seeing them in the same jersey on the same team, that's gonna be unheard of. And can they coexist together?
right.
And I don't know. I think I was looking at an interview a couple weeks ago, man. And they were talking about Chris Paul and his thoughts on starting and coming in with the second unit. And it sounded like to me that Chris Paul he had full intentions on starting for that team. So
Yeah,
is that going to be a problem? And if so, what does that lineup look like? I know I said that Chris Paul, I mean Stephen Curry can play off the ball, and he's one of the better guards to play off the ball in the league.
right, right.
What are they going to put Chris Paul 1, Steph 2, Clay 3, Wiggins 4, Draymond 5? What does that look like?
Yeah, and that's what I'm
I
saying. Like it gets to be too small of too small of small ball.
we all know that. We all know that Draymond, he isn't the Draymond that he isn't prime Draymond anymore. If anything, man, if Chris Paul were to start, man, Draymond, have him come off the bench, and Kevin Looney, start him at the 5. Man, he's one of the best rebounders in the league, and are you willing to lose that just to incorporate Chris Paul into your system? There's so many questions, question marks there.
Yeah,
Like you said, only time, man.
yeah, nah. There's a few questions. This is another one of those things. Like we'll see. I didn't know how much sense that really made at the beginning, but again, we'll see where it goes. And I believe that if he does and is willing to come off the bench, then that will be a good thing for Golden
Yeah,
State.
that'll benefit the.
And he doesn't have much of a load on him either. Like that's the one thing that Chris Paul has always struggled with is getting injured in the playoffs.
That's
So
very true. Yeah.
now I don't think I still don't believe they would have beat Denver in the playoffs, even if Chris Paul hadn't got hurt. But
The Warriors
still,
the Nuggets were just a better team.
yeah, and also, this is the last thing I'll say is, Golden State's tempo is very high compared to what Chris Paul's used to as well. And
Exactly.
so,
He's more a half court. Yeah, I agree.
if you think about where Chris Paul has played in his last few seasons, he was in Houston, he was in Phoenix. Where was he before that? Was he in Oklahoma City?
Right before that's when he took the Thunder to the playoffs.
Yep. And so, Chris Paul has always played with somebody who is a one-on-one player. So last year he was with Booker and KD, one-on-one, great one-on-one players. And so you're trying to set them up to get their moves off. Harden, play with Harden, great one-on-one player. Harden was one of the best players in the league when he was with Chris Paul. So we'll see though. Go ahead.
One more point about that. I believe the NBA just incorporated that rule as if starting this year you can't rest more than 2 stars
Yep.
in a game.
Yep, they did. And
How does that look? And what determines a star? What determines a star? Like, is Wiggins a star? No, he was an all-star starter 2 years ago. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like how do you gauge that?
We'll see. And of course that's a money move.
It's definitely a money move.
It's a money move for sure because they want people to play. But again, I agree. A lot of the rules that they have changed. I love these rules.
Yeah, I agree.
I love these rules because it I'm not gonna say it forces people to play, but it forces you to play. Like if you're gonna be in this
And I feel like that was targeted more to the Clippers more than any team in the league.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it had to be that way. So that's a good rule, and I think it's gonna prove differently. Hopefully everybody can stay healthy. I just don't know how people are getting so much rest and continuously getting hurt. I don't know this. But yeah, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take a quick little break, and then the next topic we're gonna talk about is does LeBron or can LeBron get the top NBA stars to join him in Paris for the Olympics next year, after LeBron said he would be interested in playing for the Olympics if he can get all the other NBA players to join him, after the U.S. didn't even win bronze in the FIBA World Cup this year. So that's what we're going to talk about next, but we're going to take a quick little break, and then when we get back, we will hop right into that, and we'll be right back. All right. We are back. We are back for our last topic today. And so the topic that we are about to speak on today is, can LeBron get the top NBA stars to join him in Paris for the 2024 Olympics? And so I would love to see it. I always said that the one thing I want Steph Curry to get, I mean, he has all the other accolades. He has MVPs, he has championships, but I would love to see Steph get an Olympic medal. And so some of the players that have been talked about have been Stephen Curry, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Dame Lillard, Kyrie Irving. So these are some of the players that have been brought up in this conversation. And so with LeBron being the forefront of that, if he is the drawing factor, does LeBron have enough to produce on this USA team? And LeBron's almost 40. And of course, we know LeBron is, in my opinion, when we talk about longevity and greatness with longevity, LeBron's the GOAT in that talk to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, over any player in NBA history, if you ask me.
Right. And so, I guess my question is, to you, Talan, is do you think it's possible? Do you think he can round up the troops to go to Paris in 2024? And, who would you like to see on that team?
Wow. So I think when it comes to next year, obviously, hey, you never know with LeBron James, but I feel like this is probably definitely going to be his last, Olympic run. And I think now it's going to, come down to these players want to be a part of that legacy, that story, in basketball history. Obviously around the league, LeBron James is, if not, he's definitely the most respected player in the NBA.
Right.
And rallying up those players, I think, man, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I would love to be a part of that story. But I think it comes down to what's the value of a gold medal, now.
Right.
I don't know, but in my views, I think ever since Paul George got that injury, back in, what was that, 2014, 15, whatever that was?
Yeah, I think.
Man, I feel like USA basketball has just been completely different. It hasn't been looked at the same. It hasn't been as credible as it once was, especially with the Dream Team and the Redeem Team and all those teams.
Right.
Man. And then I also think it comes down to, what did the NBA season look like? What names were in the finals? The conference finals. What's the workload? Because if I remember correctly, right after the finals, whether they have a month in between compared to then to
the FIBA,
the Olympics. Yeah, exactly. So are these players feeling overworked? Man, I feel like if you're getting paid millions to do so, man, why not? Why not represent your country? So
right.
Man, I think there's going to be if LeBron James really tries to rally those players, he's going to get some good names in there, man. Man, and there's a lot of people I like to see in there. Obviously, your Jason Tatum, your Devin Bookers, younger guards, Yeah, like you said the last two segments, man. Only time will tell.
Yeah, I agree. I think, based off of who you're able to get, and I guess to me, I just don't know why, a lot of players, and you brought up a good point talking about Paul George getting injured in that the one USA exhibition that they had. That's a good purpose, and even thinking about it too. That's one of the reasons Jamal Murray didn't play in the FIBA World Cup this year, because he said the workload. And I remember back in the last Olympics in 2021, Devin Booker and them just finished the NBA Finals, and literally later had to get on the plane and go to the Olympics. And
and that's my whole thing, man. If you play any type of basketball, a season, not only is it physically draining, it's mentally draining, you know.
You're right.
And then just getting that like downtime, I know like man, after every season I had, man, back in college, high school, whatever it was, once the season is over, man, I'm taking a couple weeks and I might not touch the ball,
Right,
just to
right.
like, just to keep her sanity, so
Mhm.
I feel like that'll show who really loves the game, and who's doing it for the money, what these players value, so yeah,
Mhm.
man, yeah, I get where you're going.
Yeah. So we'll see. Again, I would like to see, another great Olympic team. I was thinking that the other day, I was looking at that 1996 Olympic team, and I was like, man, people really sleep on that team. That was a
Yeah,
great team, bro.
that
Like
was a great team. That was a
you
great
had
team.
Barkley, Olajuwon,
Man, one of the best teams ever. What facilitated, man? Stop playing.
yeah, honestly, I'm like looking at it, the talent and the time it was in. I mean, you had Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill,
Mm.
Reggie Miller. Like, bro, I was like, why is this team
Now
not
they
talked
great.
about more? But I think about that too. I mean, John Stockton, people from the Dream Team were still on
Yeah, still on that team.
like Shaquille O'Neal, bro. Like what? So
Yep.
it's like. Yeah, I think about that, but when it comes to USA, I know it's like they want to have pride in their country and they want to win it for their
Mhm.
country. Seems like it's been different. I know people have families. There's way more stuff going on in the world today than it was back then. But I do
Oh, and I remember
believe,
you said there is one name that I would love to see
yeah.
in the USA jersey next year.
Oh,
Carmelo Anthony. I know he's
Carmelo.
retired from the league and everything.
Hmm.
That man's one of the best USA's,
Absolutely,
Olympians of all time, man. You got to put him in there, man.
absolutely. Kind, you can shoot. Maybe you could do like a little Magic Johnson thing where he retired and and
Exactly,
he was
exactly.
kind of
I think that would
forced
be
to
a great
retire.
person.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
kind of forced to retire, but still came back and made headlines with that. So, but yeah, that's good, and I we'll see, what
yeah.
happens.
Like you said, only time, man. Only
Yeah,
time will tell.
we'll see what happens, but yeah, so that's gonna be the end of our show today. First of all, Taylor, thank you so much for coming on here and joining me. You know you're gonna
Thank
be
you for
back
having me.
on
Thank you for
soon.
having me. My
So
pleasure.
what I'm looking at doing this, I'm gonna try and do this maybe once or twice a week to get started, just so I can get the hang of this platform and everything. But we're getting started. We're getting the ball rolling, and so again, I'll need y'all to go to YouTube and subscribe to Spell Basketball Show. Go to Instagram, follow at Spell Basketball Show on Instagram, and then I'm on Facebook just under Aslan Williams. I post all the same stuff on here. Whenever I have these shows, will be live. It will be live on Instagram, and it will be live not on Instagram. It will be live on Facebook and also live on YouTube. So, but this is Spell Basketball. I'm your host Aslan Williams with special guest today, Talan Whitaker. We appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all next time on Spell
All right, baby.
Basketball. All right, Talan, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.